the worst thing that someone ever said to me when I was in, for the most part, nobody said anything negative to me. I've had people either say, oh, your hair is really nice, or not say anything at all. Like, I've had people look at me crazy, but again, it's because I had long hair. And I had, nice, thick, long hair that everybody used to talk about and think it was so great and so fabulous. I just thought it was hair, which is probably why I had long hair, because I didn't really attach any kind of value to it other than it was hair. One of my coworkers came up to me one day and said, what are you doing to your hair? Because by then it had been like 6 months. I had probably been 6 to 7 months. And it was starting to become noticeable that I was not relaxing my hair. So she was like, what are you doing to your hair? And I was like, oh, I'm transitioning to natural hair. I'm transitioning out, growing out my relaxer. And she was like, this is what she said to me. She said, your husband's not going to like that. I'm so confused. Okay? I am totally confused. For one reason alone. I am not married. Okay? It would be different if I was married or even talked about having a husband. I was like, what? And she was like, whoever, and then she said that. She was like, well, whoever you marry is going to make you straighten your hair. She was like, no man's going to like that. So you're going to have to straighten your hair. You know that, right? And I was like, what? And I was like, trust me, any man who's marrying me is going to know me as a natural. So it won't matter anyway. And I walked off. But I thought it was so hilarious because I was like, what? It was weird. That's the worst thing anybody ever said to me. And not so much worse in terms of hurting me, but that's the extent of the craziness that anybody's ever said to me. So I guess the craziest thing somebody ever said to me. Other than that, nobody's ever said anything. I've had people look at me crazy, and she looked at me crazy for the longest time. But you want to know the funniest thing about it? This is the funniest thing ever about that situation, is this woman is natural now. And that's why when people say things about you, you also have to remember that a lot of times they're just projecting their own insecurities onto them. And what I realized was this woman was married. And I didn't realize this until one day I was at work and she said something to me. And we were talking about something. And she said, because I hadn't really paid her much attention. And she did something. And we're talking about something. I don't remember. But she said, oh, I'm growing out my relaxer. And I was like, interesting. She's like, yeah, I've been doing it for like the past 2 or 3 months. Now, this was maybe a year or so later. Now, she never acknowledged that at that point, she didn't acknowledge that I was an inspiration to her. But it was actually later. She has acknowledged that I was part of, not the only, but part of the inspiration for going natural. And I've had actually, okay, sorry, my battery died, so I had to fix it. Ella's getting hot. But essentially, so I guess my advice to anyone who gets any kind of crazy comments or anything like that is just understand that this is your journey, and that if you get any resistance, that's really only their insecurities or their issues popping up. It's not about you. And so, one, don't really take what they have to heart, even though you can listen to them. But, don't really take whatever they have to say to heart. Understand that just like everything else in life, this is your walk, and you need to do what's best for you. And understand, again, that it's their issues that they're bringing up. So that's my advice to anyone. Okay, that's it.